No treasure is silver and gold, mate.
Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. I'm going to try something, first time ever, my own personal book tag. So I've enjoyed doing other people's book tags and very chuffed that I was actually nominated a couple of times, so that's really cool, so thanks for that. But they're quite fun things because it's a good way of talking about books that you weren't necessarily planning to talk about, and it's a bit more sort of general than like a book review or a book haul. It's quite nice, and also you can talk about yourself a bit as well, which is quite nice. So yeah, you learn a little bit about the other booktubers, which is pretty cool, and learn about some books. So this book tag, I'm calling it the Personal Treasures book tag. Personal Treasures book tag. And the idea is that you talk about books that mean something personally to you. So you've got a lot of sentimental value with them. So it could be the particular edition, it could be why you got it, it could be that it was bought for you for a particular reason, or it could be that you've had it for a long time. So my selection is a bit of a mix of those things. So I'm picking 10 books, and I think it's quite a nice round number, so quite a nice way to do it. But if you want to get involved, I will tag a few people at the end, but if you want to get involved, then obviously pick however many you want, 6 or 8 or 10. Just a bunch of books that mean something to you personally and have a lot of sentimental value. So I'm starting off with the Star Trek photo novels. So I've got 2 of them. I'm treating this as one entry, by the way, because I feel like it's one thing. So I've got the Tribbles one, and I've got the Sitting on the Edge of Forever, which is the Hunter story. And I think there was about 4 or 5 of them that they produced, but these are only 2 I've had, and I've had these since I was a kid. And I don't know if it's kind of obvious by the name, but it's like stills from the episode turned into a book, like a graphic novel. So there's something kind of special about that. I think it's really cool. So I don't know if you've got any of these or if you know these, but that's my first choice. So a bit of sentimental value for those. Another thing, my second choice, I collect a lot of books about the Marx Brothers. I collect literally everything I see. If I haven't got it, I'll get it. And I've got quite a lot of books about them. I've got a whole box full, well actually more than a box full, kind of spills over. And I was thinking about doing a video on them, but I'm not sure. But anyway, the one that I think was the most surprising one, the one I didn't know existed and was just a really lovely find, was this one by Maxine Marx, who's Chico's daughter. And this is a really, really cool biography of her dad, and you learn quite a lot about him. And he's the one out of the 4 of them, well, 3 of them anyway, 3 of the main ones, Harpo, Groucho and Chico. He's the one that gets talked about the least. I mean, obviously Zeppo gets talked about even less than that. But out of the 3 main ones, the 3 that are in all the films, he's the one that gets talked about the least. But he's got quite an interesting history and personality, and he had lots of issues. He had a gambling addiction, and he there's all sorts of things that are in this book, and it's really cool. Grown Up with Chico by Maxine Marx. So that was a really nice find. So I really do treasure that book. I've talked about this book before. Number 3, I've talked about this book before, but I have to include it in this because it genuinely is one of the oldest books I've got, and that I've kept, and I just value it so much. And that's the Twilight Zone Companion. So Mark Scott Zicree did this fantastic guide to the original series. You can see how it's a bit old, but that's I'm the only person that's owned this copy. I had this new when it came out, and it really is a fantastic book. If you are interested in the series, I do recommend that you get this book, and it really does break down the episodes really well. And it is opinionated as well. So sometimes he says that he's not impressed with some of the episodes. Some of the episodes he thinks went a bit wrong. So it's not just rose-tinted glasses. Number 4, this is a really important one because I felt like this was really rare when I first heard about it. It's not as rare now because eBay has created more opportunities to get stuff, but certainly when I was younger, I didn't think I'd ever see it. So this is before the internet and stuff like that. But Harlan Ellison's book, The Glass Teat, which is his rants about television. How cool is that cover? The Glass Teat is his kind of critique of television, and it's kind of well known in his work, but it's not very common to see it around. So I value this a lot because I managed to get it. I do like this particular version as well. I've seen another cover, about a couple of different covers online. I'm glad I've got this one. I think it's the best cover. My next choice is another personal thing, like all of these are, and it's really because when I did my history degree, my dissertation I chose to do right at the end of the degree, so the big 10,000 word essay, I decided to do it on the British Marxist historians, Christopher Hill, E.P. Thompson and Eric Hobsbawm. So those are the three that I studied and did a big dissertation, did kind of big study on, and how they reflected on their own opinions about different historical events. And after I started doing that, I discovered this book, which is literally about that, and I used this as one of the things I quoted, and it was a really kind of nice thing that someone else thought of that idea before me. It's a really cool book, but again, I was really chuffed that it existed because it kind of validated what I was doing, and also there's lots of material I could have quoted from. So, British Marxist Historians by Harvey Kay is my next choice. Going way the other side here, this was a book that I remember when I saw it in the shop, I couldn't believe it. Didn't have a lot of money at the time, and I'd never thought this sort of thing would exist. I've got a really deep love of Monty Python, and I'm a massive fan of Terry Gilliam. And I've got this book, which I've found, as I'd never hardly ever see this, don't see it secondhand either, Animations of Mortality, and it's basically a book about the animations he did for Monty Python. So if you have a look, it's got all these sort of animations broken down, and I love the fact you've got these sketch pages as well. And because it kind of goes with my cartoonist collection, doesn't it? So yeah, I absolutely love this book, and again, something I never thought I'd ever find. Animations of Mortality, Terry Gilliam. Bouncing off that cartoonist thing, this is a big tome that cost me a lot of money. I think it was a present, but I'm not absolutely sure how I got it. It might have been a Christmas present. It's still mint condition, which is cool, but it's got every single, it's got a DVD with it, and it's got every single, up to that point, every single cartoon, single panel cartoon that was drawn for New Yorker magazine. So as well as obviously a more detailed history with a write-up about what actually happened in the magazine, and great examples there. So yeah, I absolutely love this book, and it was another thing that I feel like quite lucky to have it. I feel quite privileged to have it, if you know what I mean, if that's the right word, because I've never seen anyone talk about it. I wouldn't have known it existed except for that small moment in time when I found out about it and I got it. So yeah, complete works of the New Yorker cartoonists, and no, there's lots of visual art stuff going on here. This is another book that I snapped up. I've had a very deep interest in animated cartoons, so not cartoons as in what I was just talking about, but animated cartoons, and a real deep interest in looking into the creators of the cartoons, like Bob Clampett and Chuck Jones and Fritz Freleng and Tex Avery. And Tex Avery is my favourite, and his King of Cartoons book here by Joe Adamson. Joe Adamson did loads of these kind of books. Tex Avery, King of Cartoons, is a fantastic book, with interviews with Tex Avery in there, as well as interviews with Michael Maltese, who wrote the scripts and things like that. And you can find some really good stuff about that. And it's just a fantastic book. It really is a brilliant book. If you get a chance of seeing this, it's got some really cool stills, but it's got some really good interview stuff and proper detail about how he worked and how they created these classic cartoons. So I've got a whole bunch of books about animation. I've got one on Fritz Freleng, I've got one on Chuck Jones, I've got one on Tom and Jerry, I've got one on Max Fleischer. I've got loads and loads of these kind of books. I've got some academic books about the content of the cartoons, how it works sort of socio-politically and all that sort of stuff. So yeah, that's another one that I treasure very much. And on the back of that, by the way, I've got a book here that I was going to show you, because this is a book, again, this was hugely expensive at the time, and I have opened it, but I keep it sealed, but it's a very, very expensive but very good book on Tex Avery that, again, I feel quite lucky to have found. Snapped it up, never seen it since. And these kind of books are just rare, very rare things to find. So this is by John Canamaker. Introduction by Chuck Jones. So again, I mean, if anyone's interested in me showing you some of these books I've got on animation, I can do a separate one on that. Before I get to the last one, the 9th choice is a book that I've mentioned briefly before when I did my book name tag. This book means a lot to me because of how I got it. So this was a book that was brought to me by a friend, literally because he thought I'd like it, and I didn't expect a present like that. And it's just a really lovely gift, lovely thing for him to do. And this is The Summer We All Ran Away. So I really, really value this book, and I'm always going to have it because it's a token of a friendship, and it's really cool. It's also a brilliant book, so I would definitely recommend it. I'm going to do a review of this at some point soon, but in the meantime, this is definitely really a treasured book for me. And then my last choice for this is this massive thing here, which I haven't actually opened, which is ridiculous. So after this video, I'm going to open this because I've had this for about 15 years or something. I don't know when it came out, but I ought to look at it. But I've kept it sealed and unopened because it had that much value to me. But that's ridiculous. If I've got to look at it, I'm not going to read it. So, The Art of Tim Burton. I'm a big Tim Burton fan. I'm especially a fan of his visual eye, and this is a huge, heavy hardback book, The Art of Tim Burton. Over 1,000 illustrations, lots of his sketches and his ideas, and yeah, I mean, I'd be a lunatic to actually tell you any details about why it's so good because I haven't opened it, but I do value it, and I am going to open it, and that's about time. So yeah, The Art of Tim Burton, another book that it's just been on my shelf for many, many years without me opening it. So that's the personal treasures tag. If you think that's a good idea, then please do it. I'm going to tag 4 people. I'm going to tag 4 people that I think watch my videos. I know a couple of them definitely do, but I think the other 2 might do. Anyway, I'm going to tag these people. So Michael K. Vaughan. We've chatted a little bit on YouTube, so I know he watches the videos. Hi, Michael. And Criminal Ollie, I'm going to tag you because I'd be interested to know what your response to this theme is, not necessarily prompts or questions, but this theme. And if Michael from Fit to Be Read is watching this, I'd like to see what he chooses for this. And someone that complains about not getting tagged, I don't know if he watches my videos, but Steve Donahue, if you're there, if you're watching this, then I'd like to know what your personal treasured books are. You do a lot of videos of like objective ideas about what people should read, and what are your personal choices for what you treasure in your book collection. So yeah, that's my personal treasure book tag. Thanks a lot. Bye.
Picture of what it's like to be you. You sit up on your high chair